What up, what up, what up, all you beautiful and handsome creatures out there, and welcome to another episode of Reel Me In, a movie podcast where you didn't really ask for it, but hey, I'm going to give it to you anyways. This is a podcast where it's about anything, everything, and anything about movies. I'm your host, Chase Lee, and hey guys, listen, if you were at your grandma's house and you guys get into that kinky shit and you watch porn with your grandmother and you're accidentally on Google looking for that specific porn that you want to watch with your grandma and you accidentally stumbled across this movie podcast and you're not a movie fan, well, hopefully I can convince you to be one. This is episode 172, and welcome if you are new once again. What I do on this show is I take a look at some of the movie news, some of the trailers that dropped, give my commentary on them, and also review one of the movies of the newest releases of that week. And then, of course, box office results of the weekend to kind of wrap it all up. So, on today's episode, I got some movie news to talk about, a shit ton of trailers to talk about, and my review of Kong Skull Island, which is going to be a part of the Godzilla Reboot 2014 universe, so that should be a lot of fun. So, but first, how are you doing, guys? You guys doing pretty good? It's been a pretty interesting week, just... Another week in the thing we call life. I don't know where I was going with that. That's all I got for you. So, all right. So without any further ado, let's get this started. I am by myself today. Sorry, no guest. Your ears will have to bleed with just my voice. All right. Starting with some movie news. The first piece of news is a very interesting one. We have Mr. Thomas Hanks, we have Stefano Spielberg, and we have Meryl Streep, and they are going to be in a movie together. And Spielberg is going to direct it, and it's going to be a Pentagon movie. That sounds pretty interesting. When I first heard about this, I honestly didn't care. I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't care what the movie was about. When you say Hanks and Streep are going to be in a movie directed by the one and only Steven Spielberg, I mean, come on. How can you look at that story and go, yeah, that's just not my taste. It's not my cup of tea. So I look at it as, it looks like it's off to a good start. Let's put it that way. Because, Spielberg is, he makes good movies for the most part. He's had some hits or misses. Same with Streep and same with Hanks. So, the fact that they are teaming up, as this holy trinity, if you will, to go after this type of movie where it's probably going to be a lot of espionage and it's going to be a lot of, great suspense and whatnot, it could turn out very good. And, if it's delivered very well and, if Spielberg puts his magic, in it, on it, all over, up around the butthole, then this thing could potentially get, award recognition. And, that makes me excited, Like I said, I really don't know what the movie's about. I just know it's a Pentagon movie. And with these three behind it, it just kind of gives this project a little bit more levity than it probably would if you hire the director of the last, L'Oreal commercial or something. So, this is all but great news. I'm excited to see what it will look like. The next piece of news is that Margot Robbie. Woo! Good old Harley Quinn. I like Margot Robbie quite a bit. It's not just because she, Bear It All and Wolf of Wall Street. She was really good in that movie. And I also thought, while I did not like Suicide Squad, I thought she was good in it as Harley Quinn. I thought she was committed. I thought Focus was okay, and I haven't seen anything else she's been in. But I've liked her screen presence to where, I know if she keeps going down, interesting paths with her films and really taking these risks and whatnot, if one of them, pays off, she's going to, I could see her becoming the next Streep. If she keeps getting all these, good roles and whatnot, she can definitely have that type of caliber as an actress. However, when you're in stuff like Suicide Squad, it makes me question things. But she's also in that Tonya Harding movie, where she definitely looks the part for sure. So that will be kind of interesting. That might be her first kind of stab at the Oscar realm, if you will. So that should be a lot of fun. But the news is that Miss Robbie is going to play Marion, a spin-off film from Robin Hood. It's called Marion, but it's based off the Maid Marian character. And apparently Robin Hood has passed. Little John probably sat on him and he probably suffocated and died. So Marion is going to take over the mantle. Could be interesting, could be fun. I just want to let you guys know the last Robin Hood experience I had was when I saw Ridley Scott's Robin Hood in 2010 with Russell Crowe. I slept probably 7 times throughout that movie, and I tried watching it, a second time, couldn't make it through. It's boring. It really is. Like I don't know how you can make Robin Hood boring, but that movie was like, if Russell Crowe would like had his bow and arrow, he was about to fight, and then he would just like put his bow down and like give like a 30-minute monologue. It's like, that's not what we're here for, fam. So it could be interesting. I mean, Margot Robbie headlining a movie. I'm glad that, after Suicide Squad, she's getting more and more work. Because, yeah, she's been in movies before that movie, but after that movie kind of exploded her into the stratosphere, and now every little girl is Harley Quinn for Halloween. That is very disturbing when you think about it. Anyways, yeah, she's starting to get more offers and stuff, and so this could be interesting, and she could play that badass, with the bow and arrow. I can see it, I can visualize it. It just, please don't make it like Ridley Scott's Robin Hood. But I'm very curious about it nonetheless. The next piece of news, and this is, listen, every once in a while there comes a piece of news where I have to sit you down, pat you on your back, and go, it'll be all right, and then comfort you by putting a blanket on top of you with a glass of warm milk next to your bedside. It'll be all right. It'll be okay. So Joe Carnahan, he has left Bad Boys for life. I know. I'll take a moment of silence for all those people grieving out there. Okay, so Joe Carnahan has left Bad Boys 3. There's no director. Now, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are signed on, so it is a good deal on their part. They just do not have a director. And the movie is supposed to come out this year, by the way. They keep pushing it. I wonder why. It's Bad Boys. You could literally get any fucking director to do it. Well, I'll take that back. Not any director. Please get a competent director that can film action well and not film it like a Taken movie where it's like super seizure-rific. So yeah, I take that back. Don't get just anyone. Get a competent person. But it's also Bad Boys. You're not trying to make the next Godfather. You're not trying to... It's okay. Like, all those people that are losing their shit over this piece of news, I think Joe Carnahan's got some talent. If you guys have never seen The Gray, watch it. Liam Neeson in that movie fighting some wolves with broken beer bottles in between his knuckles. Come on. It's awesome. But him leaving does not scare me one bit. Like, I'm excited to kind of see the third one because I really enjoy 1 and 2. I think they're fun action movies. That's all I'll give it. But yeah, for the third one, it doesn't really matter who's behind the chair, but losing someone like a Joe Carnahan to me, yeah, I mean, that's big, but I mean, they could find someone else to do it. I mean, it's a Bad Boys movie. Like, it's not like they're doing like a 2-bit action movie or something. Like, I'm sure there's going to be directors that want to latch on to that. So, hell, get one of the John Wick people to do it. I think that would look pretty fucking cool. If you could bring the Bad Boys, like, over-the-top violence, bring it down to more realistic violence than car chases, could be something special. So, yeah, I really don't care about this piece of news, but for all these people out there that are looking forward to Bad Boys Faux Life, this was for you. So, I'm sorry. The Bad Boys Anonymous meetings will be held on Wednesday. All right, so the next piece of news is that Hugh Jackman, good old Huey Jackman, came off of his, God damn it, I love that movie, off of his great movie Logan, and now he's going to be playing Enzo Ferrari in the Michael Mann biopic Ferrari, based on Enzo Ferrari. Yes, more yes, a third yes, please let's fucking do this. When I first heard about this, I could not contain my excitement. When you're mixing someone with a great director like Michael Mann, and you're going to have Hugh Jackman being directed under him, he could deliver a very, Oscar-worthy winning performance, which is actually kind of exciting, because I thought Logan was the pinnacle of his career. Maybe that and Prisoners, I'm always, tied with those two movies in terms of performance from him. but this one could take it to a whole new level. And he's going to be working with Noomi Rapace, who's going to be playing his wife in the movie. But Michael Mann, he's done movies like Heat and Public Enemies and Miami Vice and Collateral, one of my favorites. So I mean, he's done some really kind of intense action films and whatnot. And he's kind of dabbled in the biopic, if you will, with Public Enemies with Don Dillinger and whatnot. So, I'm excited to kind of see where what's going to happen in this movie and how far Hugh Jackman will kind of take his career and just give it his all and just really kind of give us a kind of a unique performance we've really never seen from him before. And Christian Bale was supposed to do this, but he actually got health problems because he was trying to gain weight for the role. So what? How much weight did you fucking gain? Did you eat one too many Big Macs and you just collapsed in your car or something? Christian, just calm down, sir. It's okay. So, yeah, no, it's a great piece of news. I'm excited to kind of see this movie. I think Michael Mann is a very, very good director. Very hit or miss for me. Did not really care for Miami Vice or Public Enemies, but I do like Collateral a lot. So, and I haven't seen Heat all the way through. I'm sorry, I've only seen clips of it. But I really need to check it out. But yeah, no, this sounds really great. I'm very curious to see where it goes. And the last piece of news, Entertainment Weekly. These fucking guys are just ready. They pull down their pants and they jack themselves off and they spew behind the scenes photos every single week of a big movie. And it's just oh, Entertainment Weekly, stop hitting me in the face like that. This week, they spewed a bunch of pictures of Thor Ragnarok, and I gotta tell you, they look pretty fucking sweet. So, since this is an audio podcast, I'm gonna do my best to describe these pictures. So everyone gather around. This is story time with me. So, a lot of the pictures that were released are of course, Thor, and he's got this, war paint on him. His hair's cut. His hammer's missing and whatnot. A lot of people are freaking out because his ponytail's cut and whatnot. Just it's fine, guys. If we don't know the context, could be at the end of the movie. Could be we don't know. But I like the fact that he's having a different look to him, because in this one, all hell's gonna break loose, and in this one, there's gonna be so much at stake, and there's gonna be so much carnage that I wouldn't be surprised if he had to camouflage himself somehow and have to cut off his hair and wear the paint and whatnot. And, he doesn't have his hammer in any of these pictures. Maybe he's going to find it. We don't know, but I think it looks cool. I like his costume. I think it looks like he's ready for an epic war in Thor Ragnarok. A few others. Tom Hiddleston as Loki. Cool. He's hanging out in some fucking weirdo bar somewhere, probably getting on with a bunch of Asgard chicks. I have no clue. But I mean, he looks fine. Hela, the character played by Cate Blanchett, she looks terrifying. I actually like her look quite a bit. I like the black hair. I like the heavy eyeshadow and whatnot, and the heavy eyeliner. I love it. It just it's really interesting to see Cate Blanchett in this movie, because you figure when you think about it, she's kind of perfect for this world, this kind of a medieval type of, world, that's kind of outside of the realms of Earth or whatnot. So, I like her picture quite a bit. I think she has the presence of a great villain. Who is the other one? I forgot. It's the chick from Creed. And I forgot the name. But anyway, she looks really cool. It's got some really nice photos of Taika Waititi, in a suit, doing the Sam Raimi and Christopher Nolan style, where he shows up to work on a suit. But he looks like he's having a fun time. I get more and more excited every time I hear about Thor Ragnarok. It's definitely, Logan was my number one most anticipated superhero movie of the year. My second was actually Thor Ragnarok. I'm actually looking forward to this one more than Wonder Woman, Spider-Man, Guardians, and Justice League. I am so excited to kind of see where they take this movie. It's going to be Thor, and it's going to be Hulk, and they're probably going to find the last Infinity Stone. Asgard's probably going to bite it. It's going to be an epically told movie to kind of wrap up this Thor storyline, this franchise. So oh man, like when you see these pictures, you're like, dude, shit's about to go down. Like he lost his hammer. He is pissed. Yeah, I'm actually really curious who has his hammer, considering the fact that he's one of the few people that can pick it up and whatnot, or who knows, maybe he just lost it in like the bottom of the ocean or something. Yeah, the pictures look cool. I'm excited, so I can't wait for next week whenever Entertainment Weekly decides to just jack off all over Facebook and spew out some more photos. So, but those photos look great. So what about you guys? That is it for the news. Comment in that places where up on face and let me know. My favorite piece of news is probably Hugh Jackman joining that Ferrari biopic from Michael Mann. Yeah, I'm all about that. All right, let's get into some trailers, guys. We have a lot to talk about. Whew. All right, so you guys ready for this? Hold on, I need to take a sip of my coffee. It's about to get fucking wild. All right, the first trailer. Oh, God. Netflix, I love you. I really do. I think you create some really great content. I'm even binge watching the second season to one of my favorite shows that you do love. Next week I'm looking forward to Iron Fist. But when you have trailers like this drop, it makes me question who's in charge of the good stuff and who's that motherfucker sitting in his office just signing off on every single idea that floats in his door. This one's called Naked, and it's about a minute long. Premise. Oh, you guys want to know the premise? Okay. Marlon Wayans is naked, and he's in an elevator, and the doors open, and he steps off the elevator, and then it resets. So I want you to imagine a naked Groundhog Day. This is what we're dealing with, folks. This looks worse than the Adam Sandler movies. Like, they're on the same level. Let me just say this right now, and I promise I won't ever bring it up again. I like Marlon Wayans quite a bit. I met the man, was it 4 years ago? When he was promoting Haunted House 2. The movie sucked, but he was fun. He is very funny in person. And I actually really like the Wayans Brothers show. I really like the first two Scary movies. I even love him in Requiem for a Dream. But as of late, like, White Chicks is whatever. I know people like that movie. I'm like, whatever with it. But ever since fucking Little Man, do you guys remember that? Ever since that trash fuck spewed itself onto the screens, Marlon Wayans has been going down this deep, dark rabbit hole of doing the Haunted House 2, 50 Shades of Black. I don't get it. Like, I know the guy's funny. I've met him in person. He's very funny in person. And he co-writes his movies. That's why I don't fucking... Okay, so Naked looks awful. It was not funny. I didn't understand what they were trying to go for. It's really just a teaser, but still, I can't believe Netflix is putting their name on this. It's a Naked Groundhog Day. Fuck. All right, so that's it for that one. All right, the next one. Let's talk about Becoming Bond. Speaking of streaming services, Hulu is coming out with a documentary called Becoming Bond, which focuses on George Lazenby, who was one of the Bonds, and he was a car mechanic, and he got thrown into the world of fame and money and just becoming James Bond and whatnot. I really like this trailer. It's basically George just sitting there telling his story of like how he was a mechanic and how he got founded, and just him becoming this character and really kind of letting this character become him. And he does a lot of drugs and he sleeps with a lot of women, and it's just a really kind of fascinating story of this guy from humble beginnings is thrown into this very large and big, like just huge situation that he's got to deal with and whatnot. I liked it. It was very funny. It looked like it's going to be just a really just good old story of someone just telling their experience about them becoming James Bond. So I really like it. It hits Hulu. I believe it's either later this month or April. Because it's going to premiere at South by Southwest, but of course it's going to hit Hulu if you have a Hulu Plus account. So yeah, it looks like a really interesting documentary. The next one I want to talk about is Atomic Blonde. Oh boy, buckle up because this is going to be fun. Charlize Theron is a badass. She is I believe, CIA operative, and in the movie, a lot of operatives are being killed by someone, and she's got to go find out who's doing it. I mean, that's basically the plot, right? So you're thinking to yourself, oh, God, this sounds like a really terrible B movie that you would see a Blockbuster on a Friday. Blockbuster. It's just one of those things that you would see like, they made that? I watched the trailer, and my God, does this movie look exciting. I love the cinematography. The colors are so vibrant. The violence is visceral and in your face without it being too overbearing. And I love the way the violence kind of moves with the camera, and it's almost like the camera's documenting this fight and the camera's trying to get out of the way. Like, I love the whole vibe of the trailer. It had like this dark comedic edge to it. It had a very like sexual pulse to it that was very heavy throughout, which is kind of cool. And it's also super violent. It's basically like John Wick, except if John Wick was a chick. And there was also this heavy level of like sexual prowess in there. I loved it. I can't wait to see this. It looks like it's a lot of fun. James McAvoy's in it, and he kind of pops up, and he has some pretty dark one-liners that were really a lot of fun and caught me off guard. And just the way it was filmed and cut together, I really enjoyed those jokes. I'm looking forward to it. It looks really cool. It basically looks like Charlize Theron's John Wick, and I couldn't be more excited. So. And apparently it's based on a graphic novel. So, because I was looking at a couple panels online, I was like, oh, yeah, I remember that from the trailer. So, yeah, Atomic Blonde, hell yeah, I will recommend this. The next trailer is the newest 3-minute trailer, which doesn't really make even a dent into the movie since it's like 2.5 hours long. The fate of the... I'm sorry. The fate of the... Fast and the Furious 8, the 3-minute trailer number 2 just dropped, and they showed too much. I'm excited for the movie. I'm excited to see shit blow up. I'm excited to just stuff my face full of popcorn and just enjoy myself. This movie is 2.5 hours long. Oh my God. So 3 minutes is basically nothing in the grand scheme of things, but I felt like they showed way too many set pieces. I felt like they showed way too many of the stunts and the surprises of some of the stunts, because most of the stunts we saw in this trailer were in the previous trailer. But they also added like extra stuff in the second trailer, and it's like, I wish I could have saw that in the movie, but whatever. Listen, this movie's not going to win the Oscars. Vin Diesel thinks it is, but it's not. It's there to enjoy yourself. It's there to have a lot of fun. And this second trailer is very long, it's unnecessary, and they show way too much. The movie comes out in like a month. You do not need to have another 3-minute trailer to convince people. You are the 8th film in the fucking franchise. Listen, if people don't want to see it, they're not going to fucking see it. All the people that are going to go see it are going to see it because they've been on this insane fucking ride from the first one. You don't need to convince us. We're going to go see it. I cannot believe that I give currency, actual human currency, to the Fast and the Furious films. But god damn it, they are so much fun to watch. But this trailer was too long, showed too much, it was unnecessary, and I could have just skipped it, to be honest with you. So that's it for that trailer. The next trailer I want to talk about, let's go with Rough Night. This one stars Scarlett Johansson, Lana Glazer, Jillian Bell, and Kate McKinnon, and Zoe Kravitz. So essentially, this is like Very Bad Things meets The Hangover. We have this bachelorette party, and they're having a lot of fun. Yeah, that's cool. And then they invite a stripper over inside this house that they're at, and Jillian Bell vagina plants into the stripper's face, and he dies, and we could probably assume they hit his head on the ground, and comedy ensues. Here's the deal. Let me say that again. I love dark comedies. I love raunchy comedies. And if you can combine the two, it is going to be a ridiculous, fun ride. But this is not. This was the Red Band trailer. And it was not that funny. Every joke that they were throwing at me, it fucking missed. They threw the joke at my face, and I did like this Neo dodge, like in slow-mo, and the joke just hit the wall. Case in point, one of my favorite movies in my collection, if I can pinpoint it. Where are you at? Okay, found it. World's Greatest Dad. If you guys have never seen that movie with Robin Williams, it is a deliciously twisted and kind of fun movie with a lot of heart type of dark comedy. That is how you do a dark comedy. I don't mind when the comedy is dealing with a dead person. I don't mind that. But the problem is everything else surrounding that, this raunchy comedy aspect, was not funny. And to be quite frank with you, the tones did not mesh well with where they, they're partying, having their bachelorette fun time, whatever, and then they get into the dark and serious stuff, but still kind of pitch the comedy. Believe it or not, those tones actually didn't work in this trailer. Who knows? Maybe the movie might be different. I have no clue. Scarlett Johansson, I really hope she did not just take this for the money. I hope she actually read it and actually found it to be somewhat decent. And maybe the trailer was cut poorly. But as the trailer was given to me in that form, it was not funny. It reminds me of what happened last week with the Chips trailer, Red Band. That movie was pitching jokes left, right, front, center, up and down, sideways, whatever the fuck. So many jokes coming at once, and I didn't laugh at all. I didn't laugh at Rough Night at all. Even with the dark comedy aspect, nothing was funny, and it's such a shame because I love all those actresses. It's from the same creative team behind some of the episodes of Broad City, which, my girlfriend has watched a few episodes, and I've watched a few episodes, and, Alana Glazer and the other chick, they're pretty funny. I'm not going to lie, I actually liked the show for what I saw. So I do have hope in that regard as well, but this trailer does not represent this movie for me at all in a positive light. No. And hell, it's way too close to that movie, Girls Trip. The one with Regina Hall, Jada Pinkett Smith, and Queen Latifah. That trailer, came out last month, and that movie comes out, I think, a month before this one or something like that. Or, it's definitely within the same year this year. But, that one's just a raunchy comedy of, someone at a bachelorette party, 4 girls having fun. And that trailer was slightly funny. There was a couple jokes that actually got me. So, it can work. But this one does not, so sorry. Rough Night, that was rough. All right, so we have 3 more left. The next one I'm going to talk about is Wonder Woman. This is the 3rd trailer for it. It comes out in June. I cannot wait for it. I love this trailer. I thought it was epic. I love the way Wonder Woman was fighting. I just love her fighting style with her lasso or her shield on her wrists and ankles, or her actual big shield. I love the whole vibe of it. It has this Captain America vibe where we're going to be focusing on her in the First World War, and just kind of see where she came from, and just see what she did back in the day before she met up with Batman and Supes back in BVS. So yeah, I really like this trailer quite a bit. Robin Wright looks badass. It looks like she can be a great mentor towards Gal Gadot's character. I said this before, BVS, and I will retract my statement once again. I thought Gal Gadot, however you pronounce it, I thought that she was going to be terrible. Because she is not an actress. She's been in a few movies. She's primarily a model from the Middle East. I was wrong. I actually liked her in BVS. I like her theme music. I know a lot of people don't, but I love the guitar chorus that's got going on there. But I actually liked her in this trailer. I thought she was funny when she needed to be. I thought she was strong when she needed to be. She was badass. She was convincing in her fight scenes. I'm looking forward to this even more now. Like, I was looking forward to it, but like this trailer sold me tenfold. Like, now I'm even more pumped for it. I'm excited to see what they do with it. And I thought it was very interesting in the trailer when they had the words, this is the future of justice. This is the new future of justice or whatever. I wonder if that's Warner Brothers giving a dig at itself, going, yeah, BVS and Suicide Squad, this is the new start. Listen, I love Man of Steel. I actually love the Ultimate Cut of BVS, but I hated Suicide Squad, so I'll give them that. But I thought it was kind of funny that, you know, they had that verbiage there, basically telling us, like, yeah, this is the clean slate. We're starting with this one, so whatever. I like 2 out of the 3, so you know, it is what it is. But I do like the Wonder Woman trailer. I thought it was really exciting, and it comes out in June. Just give it to me. Come on, man. We got like 2.5 months left. All right. The second to last trailer is Baby Driver. This is the newest film written and directed by Edgar Wright, who has brought us such films as the wonderful Scott Pilgrim vs. the World and the Cornetto trilogy with Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End. I'm losing my voice, apparently. This movie's been highly anticipated by any Edgar Wright fan, especially since he left Ant-Man and whatnot, because people were really excited to see his take on Ant-Man. I still like Ant-Man, but it would have been interesting to see his version of it. But I get it, you know, as to why they had to depart. But yeah, for this one, we have Ansel Elgort, who is a driver who basically, he's kind of like Ryan Gosling's character in Drive, where he drives around people, and, you know, he's the getaway driver, basically. And he listens to music because there was something that happened to him when he was a kid, to where his hearing is kind of like, it's got like this kind of like ringing or buzz in his ear. So the only way for him to concentrate is if he listens to music. So that's kind of like the whole, you know, premise. And, you know, he meets this girl. There's some people going, hey, we need you to do one last job type of deal. It's not like a story we've never seen before, but the character itself is interesting with Ansel Elgort. You know, the whole ringing in the ears and the music to concentrate and stuff. That is fascinating. The story itself is not really anything grandiose, unless they're hiding a lot from the trailer, which would be very awesome. But as far as the actual character, I love that kind of fresh take on it. But the trailer itself, I loved. I can't wait for this movie. You know, it had that Edgar Wright editing style where it was like fast editing with the action and the humor to really kind of accentuate the action and the humor, and it just looks really exciting. It looks like the car chases are going to be really authentic and grounded and stuff. I can't wait for this. You know, John Hamm, Jamie Foxx, Kevin Spacey. Come on, give it to me. Yeah, Baby Driver. Yes, 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 yes. And it also premiered at South by Southwest last night, and a lot of people seem to like it. So that just tells me right there that I'm going to enjoy it, because I've liked every Edgar Wright movie so far. So, yeah. Baby Driver. And the last trailer. Why? Fucking why? You know, Dean Devlin is the person that's been by Ronald McDonald's, Roland Emmerich's side since Independence Day, Day After Tomorrow, 2012, yada, yada, yada. And so this is Dean Devlin's first attempt at making a movie. And it's the directorial debut. And it's Geostorm. So the satellites, I'm going to try to explain this as best as I can. The satellites are going a little haywire, and they're controlling storms. So basically, it's like Day After Tomorrow, except with satellites controlling the weather. I'm I'm good. What about you guys? Here's the deal. Is that this fucking trailer, first of all, the CGI looks atrocious. It looks like sci-fi original movie quality. It looks like something that would literally come on and premiere after Sharknado 6, 7, 8, or whatever the fuck number they're on. The CGI looks awful. The acting looks awful. The story looks just ridiculous. It's a disaster movie. I know there's a market for that stuff, and I do like myself a good disaster movie every once in a while. I actually like 2012. Yeah, I hear crickets out there too. So yeah, but this trailer is awful. It's just fucking why. I don't understand like why this shit's being made and like who's actually excited to see these movies. It's just fuck. It's called Geostorm. Like seriously. This is probably how it went down. We have a bunch of people in a writer's room, right? And they're pitching the idea. They're like, oh man, we can make a tornado with sharks. And they're like, oh my God, that's our next big movie. And then they make it and whatnot. And then they're on their 10th or 11th one right now, right? So there was probably like six writers in that room. God bless them, right? There was probably that one writer that pitched the idea of Sharknado, and then they didn't listen to him, and then someone else kind of took that mantle and was like, what if we do a tornado with sharks? And like, oh, that's a great idea. And they're like, and the original guy's like, well, that was my fucking idea. He gets so pissed, right? Like, he gets very pissed that he works at sci-fi. That he goes home, and, he doesn't talk to his wife, he doesn't talk to his twin boys, and he's just really fucking angry with the world because someone stole his Sharknado idea. So he's sitting at his desk, right? And like, he's like, honey, give me my whiskey. It's going to be another all-nighter. And she's like, but I haven't been touched in months. And then, it's domestic abuse. It's just a messy situation, which I don't condone, by the way. But, he spends all night writing this film, this piece of art called Geostorm. He goes to work the next day. He's like, guys, what if we do a movie about satellites controlling the weather? Because he's really pissed that someone stole a Sharknado idea. They pitch it and they don't like it. Like, no one likes it. He's just pissed off even more. So he leaves the sci-fi writer's room. God bless him, right? He leaves the sci-fi writer's room. And he bumps into a person by the name of Dean Devlin. He drops the script on the ground. And Dean Devlin looks at it and goes, wow, Geostorm. That sounds like something I could do. And he's like, yeah, you can do it. I mean, you guys are probably thinking of a more epic conclusion than that. And that's probably how it went down. It reminds me of like just a rejected sci-fi movie or something like that. So yeah, no, thank you. I saw San Andreas. I think disaster movies are definitely declining for sure. Even though San Andreas, the only reason that works is because of The Rock. As much as I like Gerard Butler, he is falling down a tube, my friends. All right, so that's it for all the trailers, guys. What did you guys think of the trailers? What was your favorite one? My favorite one. Ooh, that's really tough. It's between Baby Driver or Atomic Blonde, and I'm going to go with Atomic Blonde only because it's something I didn't expect. Baby Driver, I knew Edgar Wright was doing it. It's a movie he's been promoting on his Twitter for the longest time. I knew that was his next project. I had no idea what Atomic Blonde was, and it just comes out of nowhere and slaps me in the face with its vagina. Charlize Theron. And it just caught me off guard, so, that is my favorite of the week. So that will do it for the trailers, guys. And now the appetizers are out of the way. We are down to the main course of the podcast. What you guys all fucking clicked on that play button for is my review of just Kong Skull Island. Okay, this is going to be interesting. All right. So I just got back from it, and usually when I see movies on Sunday morning, I like to think about it for a while and then do my episode. Yeah, I literally got home an hour ago and I was ready to record. So that's kind of a good thing, kind of a bad thing, I guess. But it's mostly bad. So here's my relationship with these types of movies. I've seen the original King Kong from the 30s. I like it. I know why it's a classic. It's very technically innovative, and it's a interesting love story and whatnot. I get it. I understand why people like it. It's just not for me. I've seen Godzilla films, like older Godzilla films, not just growing up in the fucking Matthew Broderick version. Oh God. Speaking of Roland Emmerich, I've seen some of the Japanese movies and whatnot. I'm not like the biggest monster fan, but I realize, and I commend you guys for it, there's a lot of people out there. There are humongous Godzilla fans and King Kong fans and stuff. I get it. I am not shitting on what you guys like. I like some weird shit. Hell, I go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs anytime when Marvel DC lays out a new movie, so I get it. But when I saw the 2014 Godzilla movie with Bryan Cranston and Haley Taylor Johnson, directed by Gareth Edwards, who went along to direct Rogue One, I really liked it. I actually really enjoyed. A lot of people said they had a problem with the characters and the story, the human story or whatnot. I liked it. I thought it was fine. And the fight scenes between Godzilla are fucking badass. And my favorite part was at the very end when he fucking rips open that jaw and just does his business. I don't want to spoil anything because there's a lot of people that haven't seen it. So after that movie came out, I was excited. I was like, oh, cool. I mean, that was a really good one. They're going to make a sequel. And then, as the years kind of progress, they say that they're going to develop this monster universe and have like Godzilla, King Kong, Mothra, the three-headed one, and just a bunch of other. Sorry, I'm not a diehard fan, so cut me some slack. Yeah, no, they're creating like this monster universe and stuff, and really kind of have their own cinematic universe, and that's awesome, I guess. So I knew Kong was coming out, and I knew Godzilla 2 was coming out, and I knew that Godzilla and King Kong were going to face off in 2020. After seeing Kong Skull Island, because like I just said, I actually really liked the 2014 Godzilla. After seeing Kong Skull Island, I'm slightly excited to see Godzilla vs. King Kong, but to be honest with you, this movie was a little unnecessary, and I literally could have not seen it and been okay. So let's get real and break this down. So let's start with the writing and directing. In terms of the actual story and the characters and King Kong himself and just the way it kind of plays out, the movie takes place in the 70s. It takes place, during a time when war is rampant, and we get these group of soldiers and whatnot to go to this mysterious island to uncover stuff for the Monarch Corporation, and they realize there's a bunch of monsters there that inhabit it, like big fucking yaks in the water, some weirdo skull lizard creatures that slither around across the floor, some giant spiders and big fucking ants. That is a reference towards the movie. And then, of course, King Kong. So it's basically like this island that inhabits a bunch of creatures that used to roam the world and the earth back in the day before humans started taking over and being evil and shit. So yeah, that's essentially the plot. And, you have, some humans that are against these monsters. They think they're just all evil. Then you have the other humans that are like, oh, King Kong's the good guy because, there's other shit that's worse. And then, of course, King Kong, fight, monster, skull, lizard, creature fucking thing. I thought the story itself was fine. It's serviceable for this type of movie. You don't want to get bogged down in all these, like, backstories and whatnot, but you do want to develop characters a little bit more than what was given. I just thought everyone was a little bland, to be honest with you. I'm not saying you have to go into deep, thespian acting and reveal these dark pasts and whatnot, but just have a little bit more character to your characters. I don't know. I just felt like the whole movie was empty and void of characters that we can kind of latch onto and root for when they're in this hellish situation just trying to get out. I didn't find any I didn't feel any empathy towards anyone. I mean, it just felt just very empty for me. I did like John C. Reilly's character. I thought he was the most like fleshed out and developed. But even then, it's kind of like he was just there. He was just a vessel, basically, to guide the people across the island. So I thought the characters, like I said, overall were bland. Really nothing to them. And, yeah, and a little too predictable and just kind of like, it's okay. The story itself, like I said, it's serviceable for this type of movie. You're basically just getting these people there so you can see a bunch of action, a bunch of monsters fighting. King Kong himself, this is definitely a King Kong with personality. He is, I don't want to go into spoilers. He hasn't really been on the island long. Let's just say that. But yeah, he's kind of got like this personality about him. He's got the presence of a giant fucking ape walking around. He's very threatening, but he also has like this kind soul to him. So I do like the portrayal of King Kong in this one, for sure. And I'm excited to see where he kind of grows with his character, and whatnot, for the other, the future movies and whatnot. Yeah, that's about it. And some of the characters, like, some of them do die, but you guys probably understood this. I mean, there's a bunch of them there in this movie. Some of them got to get picked off. Some of them die, and I honestly didn't feel their deaths at all. It was just kind of like one of those things where it was like, oh, okay, I guess you're dead, yay. But like I said before, I didn't really care about any of the characters in general. There was a lot of pretty people, Brie Larson and Tom Hiddleston, like, hey, look at me. I'm fucking sultry and sexy as fuck. It's like, I get that. I would fuck you both, but let's calm that down. So yeah, story, characters, very bland, very one note, whatever. And even the mythology of the island was in the movie for a little bit, as a little bit of exposition, but it wasn't like anything to where I was like, ooh, that's exciting. It's just an island full of creatures and stuff. I kind of figure like that's where the meat of the story would have been, is like this mythology on this island and where all these creatures like came from and stuff. Like some of them, these creatures would pop up and whatnot, and then they'll die or like walk off and you don't really see them again. It's just like, oh, okay, whatever. Directing wise, like I said, the characters are not interesting enough to actually, care about when they're just like conversating and whatnot. But the action scenes, between Kong and these creatures and whatnot, they were exciting to watch. And I will admit that the last battle with King Kong and this, the giant, bigger boss of the island was really fun to see, and kind of got my mind working in terms of how they're going to do Godzilla versus King Kong. So that was really exciting. Some of the sequences, in terms of the way they're put together, to evoke some type of emotion or excitement, I thought some of them were pretty cool. Whether the director adapted slow-mo, whether he adapted interesting shot angles, or, just interesting sound design and whatnot. There were some sequences that had like a sense of either dread or horror or excitement or, actual dramatic tension. Like, there were some sequences that were like that, but for the most part, that was non-existent. So I thought the direction for the most part was fine, but I will admit that, like I said, the battle sequences were pretty cool and well constructed. Acting wise, as much as I didn't care for any of the characters, they're fine. Brie Larson is fine. Tom Hiddleston is fine. I guess the one actor that had the most like range in terms of his acting, I guess, was Samuel L. Jackson, only because he had like a creepo face at the end. But other than that, Toby Kebbell, waste. John Goodman, waste. John C. Reilly, like I said, I thought he probably did the best job out of every single person, because he inhabited like a soldier that got lost on the island, but he also, was very delusional, and he had like this really crazy sense of humor because he thought he would never make it off the island and whatnot. So he had a little bit more personality and a little bit more character development to him, to where his performance actually shined out a little bit more than everyone else. And I guess since he is the main character, King Kong, his acting, I thought, the gorilla, the big ape, I guess, had a nice wide range of emotions. There was a lot of times where, he was sad, or a lot of times he was contemplating, a lot of times where he was angry. vicious. Like he does have a nice wide range of emotions, which I thought was nice. So cinematography wise, there is a lot of good use of natural locations with, filming on Hawaii and whatnot. It's beautiful. Some of these shots with like the helicopters flying over the jungle, it's just beautiful to look at. And when they have like this wonderful orange tint to it, to really kind of look like, the 70s in Vietnam, and just kind of like that gritty war era. Like, I love the way it looks for the most part. But on the downside, some of the green screen shots are very apparent and they're very distracting, especially when you're on these real live locations and it looks amazing. It looks gorgeous. And then the next scene will literally be green screen. It does not mesh well and it feels jumbled and out of place. And no fucking thank you. And then I guess no negative with the cinematography is that there were some shots that were either too quick for your eye to comprehend, or they were just very weird and didn't really flow well with the entire sequence, and it was just kind of like an out of place shot. It just didn't really mesh well for me, but that's like, it's minor stuff. Editing wise, oh god, this movie's 2.5 hours long. Now, I did not feel the 2.5 hours, but it is definitely a long movie. And since the characters are really kind of uninteresting or very basic and not really developed at all, you just really don't care. So it does kind of slow down a bit, and you just want to get to the next scene with Kong and whatnot. I don't know. It's really weird. Like, I didn't feel bored, but I acknowledged all the problems while watching it. So I'd say 2.5 hours is definitely way too long. You could have made it a 2-hour long movie and been just fine. That time length might bother some people. Special effects wise, like I said, some of the green screen was very apparent. It just stuck out like a sore thumb. The actual look of Kong, I liked. I really thought, the hairs on his body looked realistic and kind of flowing, and looked like it was you could detect each individual hair. The skin on him looked pretty authentic and stuff. I liked the way his face looked and stuff. So, I mean, he looked really cool. Some of the monsters looked, pretty good. Like the yak was really cool to look at. They're, the main lizard skull creatures, they looked okay, I guess. But like, Kong and like a couple other creatures, they looked pretty good for the special effects. So overall, guys, here's the deal. Did I have fun with this movie? I'd say in spurts. Did not have fun throughout the entire thing. But there were some battle sequences to where I found exciting, and I was like, oh wow, this is really fun to watch. But like 80% of the movie, I just felt like it was empty, didn't really care about anyone. I thought it was way too long. Some of the cinematography didn't really make any sense, even though it was kind of beautiful to look at in some parts. I thought that overall, to sum it up in one word, this movie is pointless. I honestly don't know why this movie was made. And if they were going to make a King Kong movie, I'd rather him just show up in the Godzilla vs. King Kong movie. Because like at the end, there is an end credit scene at the end of this movie. When that end credit scene played, that just showed me right there that they don't give a shit about what just happened in this movie. There were no stakes in this movie. It was just kind of like, this movie happened. It's done with now. Now let's move on to the future movies. And that's kind of the problem that, one of the biggest problems I have is that there is no care to this movie. It's just like, it happened, it's gone, and you could literally not watch this one and just jump right into Godzilla 2 or Godzilla versus King Kong and be totally okay. So unfortunately, guys, I can't recommend this movie, even though it does have some fun aspects about it. And I love some of the action sequences. Some of the cinematography was pretty good. And of course, I love Brie Larson and anything she does. But this one, I thought was definitely one of her more blander roles, and just everyone else, no thank you. So I've been kind of debating this, and I think I'm going to give it a C+. And the only reason I'm going to give it a plus instead of a minus is because I think the CGI on Kong himself is pretty well done. Some of the violence was really inventive and whatnot, and how he beat some of the other monsters or how he took down some of the helicopters. And some of the action sequences, like I said, were exciting and fun to watch, especially that last one. So I will give Kong Skull Island, can't recommend it, but I will give it a C+. It's just a little bit above average for me, but I really honestly don't care to see it again. So what about you guys? What did you guys think of Kong Skull Island? And did you like the Godzilla 2014 remake? Comment in the place where my face, let me know. And are you excited for the future movies? I'm excited for the future movies still, but this one's not really for me. I like the Godzilla film a lot better. So, all right, let's get into some box office results for the weekend. Number 5, we have the Lego Batman movie with 7.8 million. Interesting. The budget is it's 80 million, and the domestic total so far, which is the U.S. and Canada, is $159 million, and worldwide is 275. And you guys know the rule: you got to double the budget, and you got to add a little PA marketing money, and that's what number they need to hit to break even. You double 80 to 160. They spent a lot of marketing. So I'm gonna say about anywhere from 50 to 100 million. So I'm gonna say, for shits and gigs, 250-ish to break even, and the fact that it's made 275 is fine. It's past the break even point, but it's still not enough. I really love Lego Batman movies, so please go see it if you haven't. I recommend it highly. Number 4 is the Shaquille O'Neal. That fucking poster. If you guys have not seen that poster, it's so funny. Its budget is unknown, but domestically it's made 32 million so far, and it's made about 200,000 overseas. So 32 million for a religious movie. Hey, good for it. Number 3 is Get Out, and it made another 21 million this weekend. Okay, so guys, get this. This is why I love Jason Blum. I know you guys just hate me jumping on his dick like this, but just bear with me. Jason Blum, the guy behind Split, Insidious, Paranormal Activity, and a bunch of other horror films, makes his films for like $5 million. It makes this type of money. Get Out's budget is $4.5 million. I'm going to say, even with doubling that and PA marketing, I'm going to say they maybe $10 million. I don't even think they spent more than $1 million on PA marketing. $10 million to break even. It's made $111 million just domestically. It hasn't even been released in foreign territories yet. Holy shit. The fact that it's made $100 million in profit. Wow. That's fucking awesome. I love Get Out, so Jordan Peele, good on you, man. Number 2 is Logan with 37 million. I thought it would hold number 1 again, but it dropped almost 60%, which is not really good. I hope it holds. Its budget is 97 million, so in order to break even on that, just on budget, it was 194. With PA marketing, it was marketed like a motherfucker, so I'm going to say about 250 roughly to break even. Domestically, it's made 152, but worldwide, it's at 438. Fucking awesome. It's made almost 200 million profit, probably even more so. So, I'm really happy for that. Good on you, Logan. I fucking love it. Saw it twice. I still stand by my A+. But if you want my full in-depth review, that is last week's episode. And number 1 is Kong Skull Island with $61 million. So even though with people like me that didn't really care for it, looks like a lot of people care. But here's the kicker, though. A lot of people are like, "Oh, 61, that's so good. Yeah, twist my nipples, yeah." It cost $185 million to make. So if we're gonna double that, that's $370 million just on budget to break even. If you want to add PA and marketing to that, fuck, we're probably looking at like 425, maybe 430, because Kong spent a lot on their marketing. You know what? I'll say 420. $420 million to break even. Domestically, it's made 61. Worldwide, since it opened up into some foreign territories this past weekend, 142. That's not good. They're about $300 million behind just from breaking even. So I don't know. I don't know how this is going to do. Let me see how much Godzilla makes since we are here. We are here. Okay, so Godzilla cost 160. You double that to 320 with PA market. I'm going to say about anywhere from 350 to 375. It made 529 worldwide. So it did make a little bit. They were probably hoping for a lot more, but it also made 200 domestically too. So Kong made 61. I don't know how much it's going to hold because you guys have to keep in mind for next week, we have Beauty and the Beast, which is going to fucking crush. Then the following week, we have Power Rangers, Life and Chips. Okay, so it might do okay then. March 31st, we have the Ghost in the Shell. Ugh, fucking boss, baby. And then after that, okay, never mind. Maybe I was wrong. But there was still like Smurfs and stuff. So there's competition and stuff. But Godzilla opened up with 93 million. Kong Skull Island opened up with 61. So I don't know if Kong is as popular as Godzilla. It doesn't look like it, but we'll see how it kind of holds throughout the weeks, especially since Beauty and the Beast is coming out next week. I'm telling you guys, this thing is going to crush. It's going to get like probably $150 million opening weekend at least. So it's going to be very interesting. So that is it for the show, guys. Thank you for listening. Next week, episode 173, I will have my reviews of Beauty and the Beast, and I'm going to try to get to the Belko experiment so I can have a double header for you guys. If I don't, it will be at least over Beauty and the Beast. I'm going to try to get the two in. I'll have to see, but definitely Beauty and the Beast, but hopefully Beauty and the Beast in the Belko experiment. But yeah, as far as this show goes, please like it, share it around, let people know this is an okay podcast. It's okay. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, it's @RealChaseLee. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow on Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio. Rate, comment, review, all that shit. It helps out. And yeah, so if you made it through this entire movie podcast and you're not a movie fan, well, hopefully I convinced you to be one. I'm Chase Lee, guys. This has been another episode of Real Me and Colin, a movie podcast. The intro and outro music is done by my friend's band, Fervent Roze. Speaking of them, let's hear their outro music right now. And all the links for everything I mentioned will be in the description below. Have a good day, have a good night, or whenever the hell you're listening to this. If you're taking a shit while listening to this, I fucking love you even more. But anyways, you guys are fucking awesome. I'm glad you guys like this every single week. You guys are what keep me going. Peace out, everyone. Let's play that music, son. See you next week for Beauty and the Beast, a.k.a. I don't want to see any gay characters, but I will watch a movie about bestiality. Alabama, you are so funny, fam. Goodbye.